Hi, I'm Gidon from technologyman.com. Today I'm taking a look at some LED RGB smart light bulbs from Amazon that can be controlled via an app or more usefully with your voice, together with Amazon Alexa, Google Home, and even via a workaround with Apple Siri. So you can say, Alexa, turn on the lights, and you can control the brightness level and the colour too, all with basic voice commands. They connect to your home Wi-Fi network, so you don't need any additional hubs, and once set up, they can be controlled even when you're out and about, using your mobile phone's data connection, which is a handy security feature if you're going to be back late, for example. Together with the smart plugs I looked at in a recent video, you can easily configure a basic smart home, combining multiple devices into groups to control them all at once. So let's take a closer look. Like the smart plugs I looked at in the last video that I'll link down below, these SB50 smart bulbs are also from Teckin. They can be bought singly or in a pack of 2 or 4. The 2-pack I'm looking at costs £24 or $27, which is a similar price to Philips Hue. You don't need the £50 or $50 hub that's a requirement with that system. They come in simple packaging with a multilingual user manual, which only really covers setup, but should at least get you started. It seems odd to describe the build quality of a light bulb, but it does feel well made. Here in the UK, it comes with an E27 27mm Edison screw fitting. This won't of course fit all fixtures, so you'll need to check. Most ceiling lights in the UK use a bayonet mount, so I've had to use a cheaply available adapter for those. It works fine but doesn't look very pretty. The bulb is rated at 7.5 watts, which according to Teckin is 800 lumens, somewhere between a 40 watt and 60 watt incandescent bulb. I'll come to its actual brightness shortly, but I did confirm the rated power using the energy monitoring feature of one of the Teckin smart plugs. You'll need to download the Smart Life app to get set up and control the bulb, at least initially. Scan the QR code on the box or in the manual, or just search for the Smart Life app in the App Store or Google Play. The Smart Life app is used for many smart home devices from various vendors and is encouragingly well rated. I'll be demonstrating the app on an iPhone 10, so the app will look a little different on Android. Opening the app for the first time, you'll be prompted to allow notifications, which in this case I would. Annoyingly, you have to register to use the app and set up the bulbs, either via an email address or mobile phone. You'll be sent a verification code and then you'll have to create a password. When you log in, you'll need to create a family, call it what you like and tap on location to pick up your current location. You can then define your rooms or just accept the defaults. You can change all this later anyway. Screw the bulb into a light mount and turn the light on. Tap on Add Device, Smart Lighting, Lighting Devices. Confirm the bulb is flashing rapidly. If it isn't, turn it off, then turn it on and off twice and then on again, all fairly quickly, and it should start flashing. You'll be prompted for a Wi-Fi password and a message that only 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi networks are supported. Most routers come in dual band configuration, so you should be okay, but if you've configured your router as 5 GHz only, you'll need to run it dual band to use these smart bulbs. It takes around 20 seconds for the bulb to be added, and you'll get a confirmation message when it's done. Tap on the edit icon to change the name to something more meaningful and choose the room you want the bulb allocated to. We'll call this bulb Study Lamp. Tap on Completed to finish the setup. The light will be white and at its brightest setting, which is quite acceptable, enough for a small room at least. The colour temperature of the light is 6000 Kelvin, which is towards the blue end of daylight, and I imagine a little cool for most people's tastes. From the home screen, we can turn the light on and off, or if we tap on the light, we have further controls with a big button in the middle of the screen now turning the bulb on and off. Under white mode, we can set the brightness level. Under colour mode, we can choose any colour we want by dragging around the colour wheel or directly tapping a particular colour. We can also adjust the saturation and brightness. Unfortunately, whilst brightness in white mode is more than acceptable, in colour mode the bulb is very dim. It varies depending on the chosen colour, but using the light meter on my camera, even the brightest colour was only 1/10 of the brightness in white mode. Scene mode lets you choose from a number of presets with rather random names. Night, read, meeting and leisure aren't configurable and just change the bulb colour. The next 4 modes are adjustable. Soft mode pulses a single colour on and off. Tap on Edit to change that colour and tap on the icon next to Edit to configure saturation, brightness and the speed of the pulse. These settings will be saved. Colours switches between up to 6 colours, which you can configure with the Edit button. Tap on the colour and tap the plus icon. You can tap on the colour swatches to change a colour, and you can tap Delete to remove a colour. You can again configure the saturation, brightness and the speed of switching for a truly psychedelic effect. Colourful just turns a single colour on and off. You can change the colour, saturation, brightness and speed. The gorgeous mode is just like the colours mode but fades smoothly between the colours. You can again configure up to 6 colours and change the saturation, brightness and speed. You can't change the name of these scene modes or add any more. Finally, under schedule, you can set a timer for when you want the light to come on and off. And you can choose on what days you want this to repeat. Tap on Save to add further events. You can delete an event by swiping to the left. You can easily add additional bulbs. The Wi-Fi password is saved, so setup is quicker. We'll call this second bulb Study Light. If we tap on the 3 dots in the upper right corner, we can create a group, adding the study lamp and study light, and we'll call it Lights. We can now turn both lights on and off with a single tap. From the home screen, we can filter devices by rooms. Here we can also see other smart devices like the smart plugs we set up in the video link down below. I can tap the microphone icon to control the individual bulbs or a group of bulbs with my voice. So I can say, turn the study lamp on. On iOS, you can add a widget to the Today view to quickly turn any bulb or group of bulbs on or off. A neat feature of the smart bulbs is that you can control them from anywhere. As long as they are connected to your home network, you have complete control wherever you have a connection to the internet, even via your mobile phone's data network. The Teckin smart bulbs are also compatible with Amazon Alexa and Google Home, which makes controlling them even easier. Unfortunately, there's no Apple HomeKit support at this price point, but you can use Siri shortcuts to control your lights using just Apple's Siri, which I'll discuss shortly. To set up with Amazon Alexa, you'll need an Alexa-enabled device like an Echo Dot, or you could use the Alexa app on your phone. Make sure you've completed the setup in the Smart Life app and everything is working as it should. Also, make sure you have meaningful names, since you'll be using these same names with Alexa. Download and open the Amazon Alexa app. Tap on the 3 lines in the top left corner of the screen and select Skills and Games. Tap Search and enter Smart Life, then enable this skill. You'll be prompted to log into your Smart Life account to authorise a link with Alexa. You'll then be prompted to discover devices, which will find all the smart bulbs you've configured. With more than one, you can configure them in a group or tap Skip. Now you can say, Alexa, turn on the study lamp. Or you can control your devices from the Alexa app under the Devices tab. Alexa understands many commands without any setup too. You can say things like, Alexa, turn the study lamp to 50% brightness. Or Alexa, turn the study lamp to blue. If you add new devices in the Smart Life app, these will be automatically picked up by Amazon Alexa and you'll be able to control them using the name you chose at setup. Setup is similar with Google Home. Open the Google Home app, tap on Setup, Device, Works with Google, search for Smart Life and log in to link the 2 accounts. Choose the devices you want to control and choose a device location. You can now control the bulb using Google Home. You will have to remember to leave your light switches on for all this to work. Getting out of the habit of turning the light off when you leave the room is a bit strange, as is having to tell Alexa to turn the lights on when you enter a room, rather than just flicking a switch. The Philips Hue system has accessories like their smart wall switches that can control the system without voice, that get around this issue and negate the need for a physical light switch altogether. But it starts getting very expensive quickly if you go that route. In the Smart Life app, you can create scenes to control multiple devices, not just smart bulbs, at the same time. Tap on Smart, then Scene, then Add Scenario. We'll set up a scenario to turn on all the lights and also the heater we set up in my last video on smart plugs. Add the lights and the heater and tap the switch function to have them turn on. Provide a name for this scenario. I'll call it Lights and Heating. This will be immediately controllable with one button from the Smart Life app and automatically via Alexa. So we can say, Alexa, turn on lights and heating. Although Apple HomeKit isn't supported, we can easily make this a Siri shortcut to perform this action just using an iPhone or even an Apple Watch. Tap on Add to Siri on the scene page and choose the shortcut we just created. Record any phrase you like, so for example, good evening, and then we can say, hey Siri, good evening, and our scene will be activated. There's also an automation mode under the Smart tab where we can activate the bulbs and other smart devices based on conditions such as the weather or temperature outside or sunrise or sunset in your location. If you're after a relatively inexpensive way of adding some voice-activated smart lights to your home, I don't think you'd be too disappointed with these bulbs from Teckin. Setup is fairly straightforward out of the box, but can be a bit fiddly if you have to manually get the bulbs in their flashing setup mode. The 6000 Kelvin white light is quite harsh, and rather disappointingly, the RGB lighting is too dim to be of any real use for most people. But considering these bulbs don't cost much more than the price of a timer switch for your plug socket, they are a convenient solution for controlling your lights for security purposes. And you can even turn on your lights when you're out and about, when you're going to be home late for instance, another useful security feature. If you're not concerned with the RGB features or being able to dim the lights, you could use a smart plug for your lamps, which will give you similar functionality and is a little more versatile. It won't matter what fitting your lamp has, and you can use your standard warmer light bulbs. But these bulbs are a great option for your ceiling lights if you can get used to not using the light switches. And if you had lots of them in a group, being able to tell Alexa, say, to turn off all the lights when you leave the house could save some energy. Being LED bulbs, they should also last a long time. Teckin quote 30,000 hours. I would like to see the bulbs available with more light fittings and with a warmer colour temperature option, and some inexpensive Wi-Fi switches for your wall would also be good. But they do make a reasonably priced introduction to smart lighting for your home. I hope you found this video useful. Please like the video if you did, and if you have any questions, please comment down below. I'm releasing videos every week on making the most of your technology, so please subscribe if you're interested. It'll also really help the channel grow. And don't forget to tap the bell icon to get notified as soon as a new video gets uploaded. Thanks for watching.